Let's go, let's go!
Welcome to the Straight Shoot with the boys. This is week 2 edition, Seahawks edition. What's up, J-Lo? How you doing?
What up, what up?
Running a little bit late. Got life hit us hard.
Yeah. I'm running on fumes right now, running around, but I had to jump on.
All right, fair enough. Well, let's get into it. So first thing I want to talk about, everybody's hitting the Trey Lance topic this week. They're saying that if we lose this week, that they're going to bench him. Kyle's going to bench him, put him on the bench for Jimmy G. What you think?
I don't think they bench him. I think the only thing that's going to make them bench him would be injury. It would take like a considerable amount of losses, I think, for them to do it. Kyle starts off slow every year, so if he was benching his quarterback every year, when he started off 0-2, he would have benched a quarterback probably at least once or twice right now. So no, I don't see him whether we win or we don't. I don't see us losing, but whether we win or we don't, I think they have to back Trey because the second they bench him, he's done. His confidence is going to be shot. Everything's going to be thrown off. At that point, like why even invest and do all this year that they did? And say we're going with him just to turn around and say, never mind.
It's how you watch that game. 1, 2, 3 quarters he played good, and then the fourth quarter he played like it was a monsoon, and
he played like a monsoon. He played like he was getting rushed to throw every play. So
there was a lot of pressure on him. A lot of pressure.
Yeah. There was a lot, like I said, and I know, and coaches are smarter than us, and we can see that. Then I know coaches see, what played into the factors last week. So I'm not worried about it. Like I said, I don't see them. The only thing that I could see them benching him for would be injury, and it would have to be like he can't play this week. We're starting Jimmy, and then going from there. But
yeah, we stuck it through with Jimmy with pretty much everything. He had a broken finger or broken thumb, whatever. They had, shoulder hanging on by a thread. He was still starting in the playoffs. So
yeah,
I don't think Kyle's not a person to bench somebody. I think he saw last week. He knows what he can improve on, what he struggled on. He'll make adjustments, and I think it'll make him look better. Make Trey Lance look better this week. I think we're going to get the W. I think we'll go through that later. We got a topic on that. Second. Topic I'm talking about running backs. Elijah Mitchell's out for 8 weeks, and then we picked up Marlon Mack. What would you like to see go on in that running back room?
I think what makes sense is Jeff Wilson. I mean, he knows the offense. When he's healthy, he actually looks pretty good. I mean, I was kind of torn on whether he should be the starter, even with a healthy Mitchell if he's healthy. But that being said, I like the Marlon Mack signing. I think depending on how practice and everything goes, I think he could make a push there. I was saying that last season when he was a free agent or over the offseason that I thought he would have been a good fit for the offense, and he runs hard, he hits holes, and he doesn't really second guess stuff. So I think he'd be good. I honestly, when the dust settles, if Mack doesn't make a push, I think Jordan Mason might at least push for a significant amount of carries. I think out of all the backs, that's the one that I see he's similar to the Mostert style, but he lowers his shoulder, he runs through people opposed to just running past everybody. So I think it'll be a good compliment to Wilson, and then I think he'll end up getting a good, not 50-50, but maybe like a 60-40 type split.
I think our running back really strong, even with the Elijah Mitchell injury. With Marlon Mack signing, I think it's kind of just made it stronger.
Yeah.
Because when Elijah Mitchell comes back and they put Marlon Mack on the practice squad, that guy was a starter for the Indianapolis Colts. It was a good team, good running team. The only reason he wasn't the start of last year because they have the best running back in the league.
Yeah, and the only reason why he wasn't a backup is because Najee played more of a counter role to the Jonathan Taylor type running. I think Marlon Mack and Taylor were too similar in style, so they wanted to do the third down receiving type back paired with the pure running back, and that was the reason why he lost that spot over there. So
I don't know what's going on with my feed again. I keep freezing. I don't know what's going on with that. Let's fix that. Figure out that situation. Your feed is perfect. Your picture is like HD quality. I can see like everything.
Yours, I mean, on my end, it hasn't been freezing yet, at least. So.
Oh, okay. So on my end, it looks like I'm doing a robot.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I think the running back is going to be fine. I think Trey Lance is going to get some more yards in the running game this week. It's going to be conducive to that because the field will be nice and clean and not filled with oceans.
Yeah,
I'm
no
excited
kidding.
about this week. I'm excited about this week. I'm really excited about this week.
Yeah, it's definitely a game.
Smith should run us back.
It's a game that's set up to, I think, start our momentum in a positive direction. I think it's gonna be one of those it's gonna be a hard hitting game. It always is with Seattle, and I think it'll be something that kind of motivates us to go out there and do what we were supposed to do. There's a lot of people whispering right now, and I know the Niners don't. They play better with a chip on their shoulder. So
I think the only year we started out like, oh man, this team's the best team in the league was 2019, and that was surprising everybody.
Yeah, it surprised. I think it even surprised the team, but it was one of those things where they took it and they ran with it. So
yeah, I'm excited about this week. I think we're gonna get a win this week. I thought we were gonna get a win last week too, though. So. Well, let's talk about why we lost that last week and how we can improve on it. The defensive side. Do you think another week down, a familiar opponent? Do you think they get their act in order and show they're the best defense in the league?
Yeah. I think they were showing that in that game. To be honest, if it wasn't for penalties and just mistakes, I think they probably nipped that in the butt. I'm sure they ran like crazy for all those penalty yards. I know they used to make us run anytime we get a penalty, so I'm sure they were running their asses off, and they rang in their head that those mistakes can't happen. And I think again that whole chip on your shoulder thing, I think they're gonna go out there with a vengeance, and I think they're gonna be out there ready to hit and fly around the ball. Hopefully they keep it
on accident.
Yeah. I definitely think he's
make a statement.
He's gonna eat. I think it's gonna be one of those games. You're gonna see a lot of hands in the air in this game. So,
quick question: was I echoing for you that whole time?
No.
Okay, because I felt like I was echoing. I changed what I said in there, and I stopped doing it in my ears. So I was wondering if I was doing it in yours too.
No, you're coming in
really different. The familiar opponent, I think, will settle everybody down. Not to the point where they're not ready. I think they're still going to be super hyped because it's a rival. I just think that they understand the team that we're playing. They understand the importance of a win in the division. So we have a veteran defense. Even the mistakes that were last week were made by veterans. I think this week, settle down, play fast, play hard. I think this guy's going to have 3 sacks. That's just my thought process on this. I don't think that DK Metcalf will be an issue.
No. I have a feeling this season very, very, very rarely our number one receiver is going to be an issue because Ward is going to do his thing. I think if anybody beats us, it's going to have to be the second or third option that through progression of the play, I think that's the only time they'd be able to get open. But if we do what we did in that first half with that defense, there's no time to do that. So
the only 2 number ones that I think could beat us this year, 3 if he comes back and plays at the level he can, is Cooper Kupp 1, Devontae Adams 2, and the third one, if he comes back and plays at the level he's capable, is D-Hop. Cooper Kupp, I think, because he's a slot, he plays out of the slot.
Yeah.
He'll be matched up against a rookie. Devontae Adams is unstoppable. We've seen that over the last 4 years. Even with double teaming him, he still gets 150 in a touchdown. And D-Hop is D-Hop. He catches things that most receivers will never catch because he's just so used to catching it while somebody's on top of his back.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be dependent on when Brett comes back, because if Brett comes back healthy, he's that D-Hop kryptonite right there. So
that's true. That's true. The other thing I want to say on the defensive side, man, Hufunga, man, that guy was all over the place last week. I watched the game again, and he just stood out. Like, the best player on the field was Hufunga on both sides of the teams, both sides of the ball.
Yep.
Hufunga was the guy. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, 100%. I've been very vocal about Hufunga, and I definitely think he's gonna be that guy. There was never a question in my mind he was gonna be that guy. I'm a USC fan, and I pay attention to them a little bit more thoroughly than other teams. And it's the second they grabbed that dude, I was like, yeah, that's Palomalu. I wouldn't call him Palomalu 2.0 because it's hard to be a 2.0 of him, but he's gonna be Hufunga. So I don't think he's similar in his look and similar in ways of his play style, but he's gonna be his own separate type of play.
He plays purely on instincts, and his instincts were lights out last week.
Yeah.
Do you see anything on the Seahawks side of the ball that scares you this week?
You know what? I was watching the game during our podcast last time, and what I noticed about them, and I don't know if they can sustain it, is they came out there hitting like hard on both sides of the ball. You can tell they definitely had a statement to make. It was something they went in there. I mean, it could have been the emotions were high with the wrestling and all that kind of stuff just kind of played a factor. They're at home, all that good stuff. So it was impressive in the sense of I didn't expect it from them, but then I rewatched it and they don't do anything special. It was just they went out there and they had everything to prove, and Broncos just never really they didn't have like a sense of urgency to me. So I think Seattle won that game purely off of need to win versus the Broncos where I think they kind of understand where they're at and where they're going. So it was similar to second half of the Chicago game for us. I mean, it just looked like that the entire game for Seattle.
Yeah, so the first half the Seahawks came out and they looked scary. Second half, Broncos settled down. I think the Broncos lost that game more than the Seahawks won that game.
Yeah.
They had fumbled twice inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
We did the same thing. I do think that there was a lot of emotion with the Russ coming back. It's a Monday night game, an emotional Monday night game for Seattle, at Seattle. They're on the road this week, short week. I see a letdown just in kind of getting to their spots. I don't see their defense being as good as it was last week.
No.
I see our offense is pissed off. So I can see a blowout going on. Probably 35-14, something like that.
I could see that. I think it'll start off kind of a couple of 3-and-outs on both sides of the ball. I think defense is probably going to be hitting on both sides of the ball, but eventually we're going to catch that sail and we're going to start. We'll trend up and they'll stay where they're at. I agree though. I think we pull away and we score a good 28, 35 points.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be a good game overall. Anyway, I'm excited.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm always excited to play Seattle. It's always a fun to watch, especially when you're able to beat up on that team because they've had our number over the years. So it's gonna be a good feeling, I think, at the end of this game.
Right. So let's go to our keys to victory. What are your keys to victory this week?
honestly, it's going to be just sustaining the run. I can't say not, because we ran the ball pretty well last week. But it's going to be sustaining that component just to keep Trey settled in a little bit. And honestly, I think it's going to be on the offensive side. Period. I think the defense is going to do their thing. It's going to be, limiting penalties. Obviously, that's obvious. But for me, it's going to be the running back play and that O-line pass blocking. For me, is going to be the biggest thing because if you're going to get the ball in Trey's hands and let him do what he's going to do, he needs time to throw it. So, I guess it ultimately comes down to the O-line play. I think the O-line play is gonna make the difference in this game.
Yeah, I think the tackles, mainly the offensive tackles, will be the biggest issue on the offensive side. I think our running backs are going to be our running backs. It doesn't matter who's back there; they're going to probably get 100, 150 yards.
Yeah.
Receivers are solid. I don't think Debo's going to fumble this week. I think George is coming back this week. Even if George doesn't come back this week, I think our tight end showed last week that they can still get open and make some.
Oh yeah.
I think Trey Lance is going to be better this week, just with the knowledge that he had from last week, and then all the negative publicity is going to drive him to be better. That guy's he keeps his mind straight. He looks like he's a 5-year veteran. He doesn't act like he's or a first.
Oh yeah. He has
offensive line is just going to be strictly offensive line. That's going to be the main issue. On the defensive side, I think not making mental mistakes. I think our D line is going to take over. I think our D line will make some statements going into this week. Now I can see a couple interceptions, and we should win pretty handily. I think. I don't think there's any reason why we should lose this game.
No.
If we lose this game, then we should bench Kyle Shanahan.
Realistically, like I said, we already ran into our trap game last week, so I don't see us, falling into that category again the rest of the season. So
I agree. So I was trying to get Torres on the line because he was going to join us for the pick'em. I forgot to tell him earlier he's in Georgia, so he's a couple hours ahead of us. So if he's we'll get him on. But we have a new thing we're doing this week. We're going to be picking each game of the week and see how it goes. See what we're going to keep track. I got all the boys picking. Their names are listed on this picture. We'll keep the standings going. And we'll figure out somewhere in the middle of the season what the winner gets and what the loser gets. Maybe it's just a loser game, so we'll see.
We definitely got to do something for the loser, that's for sure.
All right, so let's go with where you go from top left down to the bottom right. So we'll go first game, Jets, Browns. Who are you picking?
You know what? I'm going to pick a surprise, but not so much surprise. I think the Jets are going to pull that one out.
You do?
I do.
I think it's the quarterback situation. What you think? Yeah.
It's purely based off of the Brissett thing, and I think the Jets they have running backs. They can run the ball. They can control the ball, and I think that's what's gonna happen. I think the Jets are gonna do their thing on the ground, play defense against Brissett. They got some playmakers on defense, and I think Cleveland's probably going into this game like we went into Chicago last week, thinking that it shouldn't be too difficult of a game, and I think they're gonna pull it out.
Okay, I'm going with the Browns. I think that defense is good. I think the defense is solid, and the running game is obviously just spectacular. They got 2 starting running backs, and Nick Chubb didn't get a touchdown last week, so I think he's gonna have a couple this week. So I'm going with the Browns. And it's in Cleveland too, so I just think the Browns got this one. So the Washington Commanders and the Detroit Lions. This is the first time in like 2 years that the Detroit Lions are favored.
Yeah, and they're gonna be my pick also. they don't they've never really been a bad team. They've been one or two pieces away, but last week they looked good and they're playing a good team. So yeah, Washington. I mean, I'm honestly I've never been a Wentz fan, and I don't think he's a starting QB in the league, and that's going to be I think their biggest liability. I'm sure he'll make some plays, and that their running backs are pretty good over there too. But I don't see them being able to really hang with the Lions towards the end. I think the Lions will pull away.
Yeah, I think Detroit has a good coach. He's an exciting coach. He keeps the locker room excited. It's the first week they're favored. I don't think they're going to take it for granted. I think they win by a touchdown. Third game, Tampa Bay versus the Saints, a rivalry game.
That game is always a good game. It's hard to pick on that game because your instincts want to tell you Tampa, but the Saints don't look bad, and then they always play against Tampa pretty well. I'm gonna go with the easy pick. I'm gonna say Tampa, but it could go either way. To be honest, it's pretty in there. It's 50-50 for me.
Yeah, I'm torn on that one. It's in New Orleans. New Orleans looked good last week.
Yeah.
Jameson looked good last week. The running game didn't look great, and usually the running game is on point. The Bucks, they looked all right last week. They got a lot of weapons. They got Tom Brady. I'm gonna go New Orleans. I'm gonna go New Orleans on this one. I think that's a home game. It's a rivalry game. I'm going New Orleans.
That's probably the closest game for me. Out of all the games, that's the one game that I was kind of a little bit back and forth on.
Like either way on it. We got Carolina at the Giants. Carolina coming off a loss. Giants coming off a big W.
Yeah, I think that's some people are going to want to overreact to last week and think that the Giants are here and Saquon's here, and all that good stuff. But Carolina still is. I mean, the weapons that they have, the team that they have, it looked bad last week, but I think they're gonna catch it going. I think McCaffrey's gonna do his thing. I think Carolina gets this one.
Yeah, I think Carolina started slow. I think they started out, we're losing 21-3 or something like that.
Yeah.
I think they ended up losing like 24-21 or something. They look pretty good. I think I'm going with Carolina too. I just don't trust Daniel Jones.
Yeah, no, I don't.
He's a beast. If it wasn't Daniel Jones, the quarterback, I'd pick him. But
yeah, if the Giants would trade for Jimmy, that team might be something.
that team would be exciting. New England against Pittsburgh. New England looked terrible last week, and Pittsburgh coming off a big win, but a big injury.
Yeah, I'm gonna go New England. They look like they don't know what the hell they're doing. To be honest, coaching, players, all of it, all across the board. But Belichick's Belichick, and I've never seen them look like they did last week and then come back the following week and put that out again. So I think the defense will show up for them, and they're going to be in whoever ends up playing quarterback for the Steelers, Trubisky or Pickett. I think they're going to get them early and often, and then T.J. Watt being out is going to let Mac Jones at least have a decent amount of time to find his weapon. So.
Yeah, I think it's really hard for me to pick against New England after a blowout loss. Belichick is not one to play with, so I'm going to go New England. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, though. I think it'll be New England by 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
Indianapolis Colts at the Jaguars. This is a big game for Indianapolis. The Jaguars knocked them out of the playoffs last year.
Yeah, and you know what? I think there's going to be a repeat this week. Watching the Jaguars, they don't look bad, and they kind of play the style offense, and that's probably why they beat Colts last year. They play the style offense that kind of works against that Colts defense. Colts defense is good, and they have the people, they have the names, and they play well. But they're banged up too. Leonard and a few of the other guys have been hurt, kind of off and on. But I think the Jaguars go out there, they run the ball, they look good, and I don't think they'll win significantly, but I think they're going to pull that one out.
So you think a 0-2 start for Indianapolis?
I think so. I think people were getting excited about the whole Matt Ryan thing, and I don't think that was their answer. But that's just me.
Matt Ryan's a quarterback, but they don't have a great receiving core.
No,
I'm gonna go Jacksonville too. I think they got a lot of young talent, good young talent. They look excited to play. They got a coach they want to play for now. I think they're gonna get this one too. I agree with you. It's in Jacksonville, so yeah. Florida Heat. Indianapolis not used to that Florida Heat. There's going to be probably some cramping in the fourth quarter. So I'm going to go early season Jacksonville. This is later in the season. I probably wouldn't go Jacksonville because it wouldn't be as hot. But since it's so early, so hot, I'm going Jacksonville.
Yeah.
All right. Miami at the Baltimore Ravens. One pissed off Lamar. He just turned down I don't even know what that contract offer was. If it was real, they really offered him $130 million for 6 years.
Yeah,
that's
they messed up. Yeah, and unfortunately, it's you could kind of see it the whole chemistry between the team and between him, and it was apparent that there was some issues there, and Miami clicked all the way across the board last week. So I think this is going to be a significant win by Miami. I think they make a statement in this game. I think they pull this one out. I think McDaniel and the Miami Niners that they'll get this one.
Yeah, I think Miami's going to be a playoff team this year for sure. I think. Yeah, I'm going to go Miami. No, you know what? I'm going to pick Baltimore just so I can pick against you sometimes. I'm going to go Baltimore.
I mean, it's natural. We're gonna end up thought processes might align. I mean,
I know. I'm going Baltimore specifically because Lamar Jackson, I think, is pissed off. He played great last week. He was throwing the ball, throwing dimes. He run the ball. He did get hit once, but I think he's bigger this year, and he just looks like he's a man possessed right now. So I'm gonna go Lamar. I'm gonna go Baltimore there. Atlanta at the Rams.
So, as much as I want to pick against them, the Rams are going to win this. It's going to be a similar case of the New England thing. I don't see the Rams going out twice and playing like they played. I mean, it's like they did play horrible, but they were also playing against the Bills, who, most people pick to go to the Super Bowl. So I think the Rams will come back out. They'll look good. It's in SoFi, so I think the Falcons didn't look bad. I think it'll be a better game than, they kind of blew their lead last week again. So they look like they could have been a team to reckon with, but no, I think the Rams go out there and they're going to probably dominate this game.
Yeah, I agree. I want to pick the Rams against the Rams just because I'm a 49er fan, but logically, they're going to destroy the Falcons. I don't think the Falcons have a chance. It's like, they got embarrassed on primetime TV. They're going to win probably by 2 or 3 touchdowns. We got a new person. Miguel just decided to join. What's up, my guy?
What's good, bro?
All right, so we just picked the Rams Falcons. We both picked the Rams.
The Rams, Falcons, yeah, I think the Rams got that easy money. Cooper Kupp's going to go off.
Yeah, I think we both wanted to pick against them because we're 49er fans, but we don't see them losing 2 weeks in a row, especially after an embarrassing primetime loss.
Well, being from here, man, I hope Atlanta gets destroyed. So,
yeah, let's go back through I'm gonna let you go through the first ones. I'll run through them for you so you can get your picks in.
Gotcha.
Let's go with your Jets against the Browns.
All right, man. Jets over the Browns. It's going to be hard to stop Myles Garrett, but if we can stop Myles Garrett and their pass rush, I think we have a good chance to win the game.
Yeah, we were split on that one. He picked the Jets. I picked the Browns. So you picked the Jets as well. Yeah, I think that's going to be a good game, though. The Commanders
Commandos
versus the Lions.
So for that one, bro, I have the Lions beating the Commanders. I think that the offense looks so good, man. Ross St. Brown, DeAndre Swift, all the weapons he added for Jared Goff. Like I think the Lions should definitely. I'm gonna say definitely. It'll be a good game, but I think the Lions are gonna win that one.
Yeah, we both agreed the same thing. First time in 2 years that the Lions are favored.
Yeah, right.
And they're at home. This is the tough one right here. We were split. We think it's gonna be a close game, but the Buccaneers versus the Saints.
So for me, man, looking at this, I kind of wanted to go Saints, but I decided to do Buccaneers. So obviously, Buccaneers have a better team overall, like top to bottom, defense and offense to me. But seeing how the Saints played last week against the Falcons, I have to go with the Buccaneers. So like that's what pushed it for me. But Buccaneers there.
We still on?
Yeah, hello?
I think he might have got disconnected.
Oh, it sounds like it.
It looks like he's jumping back on now.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to my thing, so I just jumped on the other line. So I don't know what you guys heard, but he picked the Saints. He picked the Bucks. I picked the Saints. You picked the Bucks. I think it's gonna be a close game regardless. We'll see what goes from there.
See.
Panthers versus Giants.
This is another one.
Panthers versus one of those Giants.
This is definitely another hard one. I wanted to pick the Giants, but I feel like the Panthers are going to pull out. I feel like they're going to get a win here. I don't know if maybe the Giants got lucky last week or what. But, I mean, both of them. I mean, the Panthers played against the Browns. I'm going Panthers here.
Yeah, we both picked the Panthers on that one. We don't trust Daniel Jones.
I think Saquon's going to have a big year as long as he don't get hurt, though, man.
We do too.
Yeah,
I actually was hoping that the 49ers would trade for Saquon this last offseason. I was like begging for it.
Yeah.
Just trade for that. I don't care what you got to give up. Trade for him.
I think everybody was just scared because of injury history, man.
Yeah. So the New England Patriots versus the Steelers after a blowout loss.
As much as I hate to say it, man, I'm going Pats here. I hate the Patriots. Obviously, as a Jets fan, I hate the Patriots, but I think the fact they lost T.J. Watt, they might not have as strong of a. Obviously, they saw their defense still on, but they might not have as strong as a pass rush. I think Mac Jones is going to get it done, and they're going to win that game. So,
coming off a blowout, embarrassing loss, I don't see Bill Belichick losing that game.
Yeah, exactly.
This game right here, we had some surprise picks to see where you go with this. The Colts versus the Jags.
Oh man, the Colts easy. I think the Colts are going to blow them out, man, destroy them. I think Matt Ryan's going to go off as well as Pittman again. I think both of them are going to have great games. They're not going to have a slow start. They had a slow start because obviously week one they're getting used to that new offense, new quarterback. I think this game they're going to go off and completely destroy the Jaguars.
So we both picked the Jaguars, actually. Yeah.
So with the Jaguars, I'll say Travis Etienne. He's going to end up being big, man. Like, they should have given him the ball way more last week. I don't know why they didn't.
That was a crazy game. Dolphins versus the Ravens. The Florida 49ers versus the Baltimore Ravens.
So, the Dolphins-Ravens, I picked the Ravens here. I think a lot of it, to me, was just like because they beat us. I don't know, but Miami's got a good team. Ravens got a good team. I think it'll be a really close game, but I think the Ravens are going to pull it out. But I think that one's going to be a really close one.
Yeah, we were split on that. I picked Baltimore just because I think Lamar is possessing. I think he's bad. I think he's pretty good. So we're back at the right side here. So Seattle versus 49ers, which is what we're all here for.
Yeah, we're all here for it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, there you go.
I'm going to go Niners. Like I said, I don't think we repeat the performance we had last week. I think we go out there and Shanahan does this thing, our defense goes and flies around and hits people in the mouth, and it's going to be I think it's going to be a considerable win too. It's not going to be, a close game.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be like 35-14. It was something crazy. I don't.
Big score.
Geno Smith should have went back, man. Geno Smith is he's not going to do it against the 49ers like what he did last week. They're coming off an emotional Monday night win. They're going to come into Levi Stadium. I think it's San Francisco Eastern as well. Lots to play for San Francisco.
All right, man. For me, I'm going 49ers as well. I think we're all 49ers here on that one. But like you said, Geno, he fizzled out in the second half. I think it'll be the same, game manager across the board. But I think the Broncos pass rush is not as good as the 49ers pass rush. They have those rookies on the line, so you got to be worried for the Seahawks, So I think I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be a lot closer than you guys are saying. But I don't trust Terry Lance until he proves that he can do something, all right? But I think 49ers pull it out, and they win by like 7 points. That's what I'm thinking.
That's still good. Bengals versus the Cowboys. Even boys.
Oh, God.
I want Bengals. I think Bengals are going to destroy. I don't think this is going to be a close game.
I agree.
I think if this is on national television, they will turn it off in the second half to put something else on.
Yeah. Bengals, the fact they didn't go out and get a quarterback, that surprised the hell out of me. Like Cooper Rush. Let's see how Cooper Rush does.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Bengals for me, 100%. That was probably the easiest pick of the week for me.
Yeah, I literally think they'll turn this game off in the second half to another game because this game is going to be bad. Texans against the Broncos.
I'm going to say I'm going to go Broncos here. I think Russ is going to actually cook this week. After that game, I'm sure that stemmed a little bit for him. So, Texans didn't look horrible, but they're still the Texans. I still am not sold that team's a competitive team. So I think the Broncos probably beat them.
Yeah. I think the Broncos would have won week 1 had they not had the little miscues they had inside the red zone.
Yeah.
They just look like a better team all around team. And the Texans are probably like the 30th best team in the NFL. So I think this is going to be not relatively close. I think Russell Wilson will have some big touchdowns, probably 3 or 4 touchdowns this week. It's a proof point.
Yeah, I'm with y'all as well, man. I say the Broncos, same thing as last week. Fumbles killed them. They started sloppy. These guys kind of like, to me, like what I was saying about the Colts. Like, they start sloppy week 1. I think Russell Wilson started doing stuff at the end, and I think I think it's going to be a blowout win for the Broncos.
Yeah, I agree. Cardinals versus Raiders. It's a big game for the 49ers, actually.
Yeah, no kidding.
I think personally, I'm going to say the Raiders. I think the Raiders' offense is going to be unstoppable. I think big game you got to look out for is Chandler Jones. I think he's going to have a big game this week. I think he'll have 2 or 3 sacks just to prove a point that y'all should have paid him. The Cardinals didn't pay him his money. They didn't want to pay him his money. They kind of held on ransom last year. I think he's going to be like, hey, I was the guy on the team. Now you want to mess with me? I want to mess with you. So I can see that.
Yeah, I got the Raiders here as well, man. Honestly, man, the Cardinals, they didn't really show me much last week. I hope it's a better game. I mean, the Raiders had a lot of mishaps. Derek Carr's interceptions, like if he cleans that up and they get the run game going, because they didn't get Josh Jacobs involved really at all last week. I think they should win it.
Oh yeah, he had like 6 yards carry too. Crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'll go Raiders as well. Minus the little mistakes that they made last week, they looked good, and it was against a good team. So yeah, I don't see them losing.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. The Raiders, he made a lot of mistakes. He was throwing a double coverage to Devontae Adams. I think it's kind of like what Miguel was talking about with the Colts. He got a new toy. He's got one of his best friends. He's going to try to force him the ball in the third game, of course. And I think they'll settle down. And I think Carr is going to settle down. I think that's what's going to look crazy the rest of the year. Chicago versus Green Bay. I don't know. Green Bay looks.
No, man. Get out of here. What happened last year, week 1 against the Saints? They got blown like 40-something to 0, man. I'm not.
That's a fact.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. That it's going to be a repeat of last year. Aaron Rodgers already made it clear he owns those Chicago, so that's going to be. I think that's going to be one of those against second game last year. What he did, he's going to come out and do the same thing. I think they're gonna run through the Bears.
I think Justin Fields is the worst of the last year's rookie quarterback class. And I mean, he showed it last week. He barely did anything. Obviously, Monsoon weather, like you said last week. But to me, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be a blowout win for the Packers here.
Yeah, I agree with you on that statement. Justin Fields literally didn't do nothing. The two plays that he had, one was a touchdown. I think one was like a deep middle pass. Both were terrible defensive plays on the defensive side of the 49ers. Missed coverages, lack of communication, wide open passes. If he'd have missed them, they should have cut him that week. However, I agree. I think no better medicine for Aaron Rodgers than Chicago Bears. I think he's going to come back. He may not have all the throwing yards this week, like deep down the field. I do, however, think he's going to have like 250, 260 yards. Might be dinking dunks to the running back because he's got two great running backs. I do think they're going to win by at least a touchdown, probably 10 points.
Yeah.
And then the final pick of the week, Tennessee versus Buffalo.
I'm going to go Buffalo. I don't know how you go against Buffalo, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout win, though. I think the Titans aren't bad. I think they're a little bit off. It's going to take them some time to get going, I think, with the new receivers and stuff and everything else, but I think it's going to be a Buffalo win.
I'll be honest, man. I think the Titans are bad this year, and I think it's going to be a blowout win for the Bills. We're going to see Bills fans going through tables. So I think the Bills are going to dominate here, man.
Yeah, I want to pick the Titans just to be opposite of you guys, but I think the Buffalo Bills are going to destroy them. The only chance Tennessee has is to give Derrick Henry the ball 40 times. And he has to have 300 yards. If he doesn't have 250, 300 yards, and 2 or 3 touchdowns, like there's no chance for the Tennessee Titans.
Yes,
Josh Allen has too many weapons. He showed last week. He don't care who's covering those weapons. He threw at Jalen Ramsey 7 times and completed 6 of those passes for 2 touchdowns in like a $1.25. He don't care who he's throwing the ball at. He's in a zone. So,
yeah. Josh Allen
wins by 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns. I don't think this is a close game. It's in Buffalo, like you said. There's going to be destroyed tables all over the place. Hopefully, there's no blown up cars this week. That was one of our times. I think this is going to be. I think we're going to get back into football. Last week was very, very. All the football was very, very crap. It was like messy. It was no communication was terrible. It looked like a preseason game, but with our starters on the field. I think this week is going to start looking more like a regular season. And I think we're going to start seeing the teams that are the good teams pull away from the other teams. I think we're going to see some blowouts this week that people expect, not surprise blowouts.
Yeah.
Miguel, I'm going to let you say your piece on Trey Lance. What you think about him?
I mean, like I said, man, I got to see more. Obviously, he's a rookie. He probably had them jitters week 1. We haven't actually seen him in many games. Like actual real NFL games, right? How many games did he play last year? Like 1, like.
He started 2 and played a half.
Played a half, yeah.
Against Seattle. The Seattle game, he had, I think he had like 150 and a touchdown.
Yeah.
And then he started again against Arizona, which we didn't throw the ball. I don't know why we didn't throw the ball against Arizona. He still should have won that game with their full starters. And then the game against the Texans, which we had to have. If we didn't get that win, we wouldn't have made the playoffs.
Yeah.
So we needed that win. And that game, I think he threw a bad pick. He threw one. It was pretty bad. It was like Jimmy Garoppolo bad. Like, oh my God, what are you doing? But I do think that last week, the first quarters 1 through 3, he played pretty good. He played pretty solid. Put some passes that we're not used to seeing Jimmy throw. There was one to Ross Ray. I was saying Justin. He hit him directly in the chest, but Ross had no choice but to catch the ball. Like it was in his chest. In the fourth quarter, when it mattered, he didn't play very well. Granted, there There was ocean. There was an ocean inside the stadium. Like they literally had to put the field numbers like digitally in there. That's how bad it was.
I mean, how do y'all feel about the running back going down? Like now you have Jeff Wilson starting.
I think Jeff, honestly, and I've said this a few times, I think Jeff Wilson's the better running back.
Yeah.
He's not as fast. He's not as fast as Elijah Mitchell, but he reads the blocks way better.
Well, for me, for y'all, I think like y'all have like the way y'all use y'all's running backs is they're kind of interchangeable. You know, like obviously they all have different benefits, but like I think they're pretty interchangeable. It's not going to affect y'all that much y'all's offense. But as far as Trey Lance goes, man, like I got to see more. That's the whole thing about it. Like I've seen his deep ball. His deep ball's pretty, man. Like he can sling it, and he puts around the money. But like other than that, man, let me see these short, intermediate passes. Consistent. Because right now, I think the accuracy and going through his reads are the big thing.
Yeah, to be honest with you, the whole issue with Devo this year, we weren't sure what that was. We weren't sure that it was a contract. I honestly thought it was Trey Lance, because Trey Lance last year when he came in, Devo, he's a short intermediate. You get him the ball in his hands right now, and then he can make a play. And he throws a rocket. He throws it hard as hell. And Devo was having trouble catching his passes. A lot of his intermediates and his deep balls, he was catching no problem. Even George Kittle last year said something. He threw a ball at him, and he's like, Trey can't take my fucking head off. Like, what do you want me to do? So I see the points that they make. He reminds us of Kaepernick a lot, and Cap never developed a touch. Like, he never developed that short touch. He always just trying to rip people's heads off. And Trey, I kind of see a difference in him this year where he's still throwing the ball hard. However, he's throwing the ones, he's almost throwing too much touch on the short passes. Yeah. There was one, I think that was the problem last week. When he threw the interception, he didn't rip that one. And if he would have ripped that one, I think it wouldn't have been a pick. It probably still would have got batted down. But he had just kind of slung it out there. And it was like, no, somebody said you got to throw hard. Like, expect that dude to catch it. He's a professional receiver. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people forget, too. He's like the youngest quarterback from that class, you know, like he's going to be learning. So like it's going to take time, and even if it's not to say it's going to be like a terrible season for him, even if it's like a tumultuous season, if he starts to progress, that's all you want to see, you know, like with Zach Wilson. I'm still up in there with Zach Wilson, you know, I love Zach Wilson. But like I think if he continues to start progressing, he did a bunch of interceptions at the beginning of the season, and then at the end he lost all his weapons and he started to build it better. But I want to see progression, you know, like will he progress this year? And I'm going to have to wait a little bit.
I was listening to I don't know if you guys listen to Grant Paul. I know Joe probably does, but he had somebody on his podcast last week. His name was Jesse Naylor, and he said something that was like, "That's exactly what we need. We don't need him to be the person leading us to victory right now. We need him to learn and be a net zero. We don't need him to be like, you're the guy. We need you to do these things to win. We just need you to manage these games, learn how to play this quarterback position, and then at the end of the season, when it matters, we might need you to step in and win a game. But then at that point, you should be prepared to win a game. Like you said, last year, Zach Wilson did look terrible at the end of the season, but at the end of the season, he looked like, oh, this is the guy for the future. He's good. Yeah. Like the opposite of Mac Jones. Mac Jones came in and looked great at the beginning of the season, and then looked awful at the end of the season.
I think we're going to see a lot of that this year.
He plays for the Patriots, so he's going to get the love that no one else gets. Yeah. So I agree with you on that point. I don't need to see him come out here and throw for 400 yards, 5 touchdowns. I just need him to see him come out here, throw for, we said like, I think last week we said like 200, 220, 18. Yeah. Like if he goes 18 times a game, we're good with that. Like we know what our football man is. We're going to smack him out. And all we need to do.
For me, all he needs to do is match Jimmy's numbers, like Jimmy's level. If he can match Jimmy's level, then we'll be fine. We don't need him to do anything special. He don't need to be Josh Allen right now. That's not what I'm expecting either. It's going to be meet Jimmy's numbers and show, you know, with the athleticism and everything else, what you add to that factor, which he showed last week. You know, running out of their down plays and doing that kind of thing. So bring that little bit to the table and meet those numbers, and I'm cool. I think the Niners will be fine with that.
Yep.
Yeah, honestly, if we put Jimmy in that game last week,
yeah.
he would have been killed. Like, Trey was running for his life for the whole second half. Like, pretty much from the moment the ball hit his hand, he was like, oh shit, I gotta run, because there was pressure in his face every yeah, it was ridiculous. McGlinchey, we were talking about McGlinchey last week after the game. Like, McGlinchey, in the run game, he's always been good. He's a good run blocker, but as a right tackle, protecting anybody from an edge rusher.
Yeah, he's a liability at pass blocking, but.
And we want him to go to guard because that dude, like, he is a good run blocker.
Yeah.
Like, he's not a great pass blocker. For some reason, he's always letting the worst defenders get in the guy's face. You're not even blocking the Chandler Jones. You're not even blocking these guys. You're blocking.
He was blocking a rookie DN last week. He was not blocking a rookie DN, but I could see a lot of heavy sets this week. That's I'm kind of thinking that they're going to add that tight end, like a Dwelly or even a Warner over there with him to kind of help with the pass blocking, and then we'll run, maybe 2 tight end sets, like George Kittle do his thing off the line, and just 2 wide receivers, Ayuk and Debo, and play that type of football just at least until we get healthy and get some of those alignment back.
I think this week we're going to try to smack them in the mouth as much as we can. Let the run game speak for everybody. I don't think we're even going to try to pass the ball that much. If we do, it's going to be play action passes, which is exactly what Trey needs to be right now.
Yeah.
We're going to have
What are you feeling on the Jets?
I mean, to be honest, man, like, I feel like if you look at the stats for that game, man, like, y'all, I don't know if y'all watched it or if y'all saw the big highlights. Everybody saw the Lamar bomb, right? It was a broken play.
Yeah.
Like, the safety didn't go deep, so the dude was wide open. So that was like a 55-yard bomb, right? I think he had 260 passing yards. I think Lamar had 260 passing yards for the game, right? And like 2 of them were off of 2 broken plays. They got him like 100 of those yards. And 2 of the touchdowns. Like, if that didn't happen, you'd have those mishaps. Like, it would have been a close game. It would have been 10-9 at that point. And then as well for the Jets, I think Breece Hall fumbled on the 10. Michael Carter dropped like a 4th down. It was a 4th down. It was like garbage time. It was a 4th down, like in the red zone. Hit him in the hands for a touchdown. He dropped it. Which Michael Carter's having a huge year this year. But in general, I think I'm scared of Myles Garrett because our line last week looked atrocious, and that's the thing was like I wish we had Zach Wilson because freaking Joe Flacco looked like a statue just sitting there, bro, just taking everything. And
that's always been Joe, though. Joe's always been a statue, and somehow they do make it work.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like I think if we can somehow limit, because you're not gonna stop Myles Garrett. You can limit him, like just slow him down a little bit. I think I think we're gonna win. That's me. Like I think that's what's gonna happen. Especially after what happened last week, everybody's talking shit. He's already. I don't know if y'all saw Salah said he's taking receipts. He's taking receipts. Everybody talking trash. I'm gonna believe it. And
we love Salah, bro. Salah's out there running the bleachers every day. Every day before practice, he's running the bleachers. That's awesome. I love that guy. That guy, if he gets fired from y'all, he'll become Texas for that.
If he gets fired, he probably will go straight back over there because he knows he's defensive coordinator somewhere. But
D'Amico Ryan's about to get hired as a coach this year, so we can get rid of D'Amico. You got to hire D'Amico, and we'll bring Salah back. We'll get hired. But Salah's a good coach, and the one thing with Salah, you're not going to get beat deep. Like he doesn't like to get beat deep, so you'll never get beat deep on a regular play. It's always going to be a broken play.
Yeah, outside of a broken play.
I mean, like if I want to see how they do against. Obviously, they have Browns. They got Amari Cooper, so. I want to see Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed play against them. Because last week, I think both of them together only allowed 2 catches for 8 yards.
DJ Reed, I think, was the highest graded DB last week.
It says that out of the duos, they had the best ranking. But to me, I mean, the Ravens receivers, I'm not really scared of anyone except Andrews, at tight end. But I want to see how he does against, they do against Amari Cooper. I mean, that's probably their first big receiver they're playing. And obviously, we got to stop the run, As far as the offense,
you guys play a lot of man or you guys play a lot of zone?
Play a lot of zone. That's what. So
you guys do what we did. You guys play our defense, basically.
Yeah, he wanted to do more man because that's what he's known for. Saucing them up. But on offense, man, you don't let Joe Flacco throw the ball 60 times. Like I don't know if y'all saw that. He had 58 attempts, like pass attempts, like outrage.
Never good.
And that's the thing. Our run game was terrible. Like our run game looked alright. Like actually run the ball. I think it'll be a good one for us.
Yeah. That's why I picked the Jets. I think, like you said, Michael Carter's gonna have a good game. I think he's gonna have a good season. But yeah, I think they're gonna look at film and they're gonna definitely lean towards that run game a little bit more.
Hope so.
I just gotta watch out for those running backs, and those running backs.
Yeah, I'm worried about Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Definitely, I mean, you got to. I mean, that was our weakness last year, but I mean, we did a good showing last week. I hope we bring it into this week's week. I mean, obviously they were missing J.K. Dobbins, but we kept Lamar, and that offense is I think it was 68 rushing yards. I don't see the same thing happening. I think they're gonna get a lot more, but I think we'll limit them enough to get a dub. So we'll see what happens.
Hey, I'll be down for good Jets actually getting some wins.
Hey man,
you need to see it.
You need to win every game in fucking years. So
we all
for something, man.
We always root for 49er 2.0, 49er 3.0. We're gonna be rooting for Miami this year and the Jets.
I gotta show y'all something real quick.
Alright.
I don't know if y'all can see this, but I got this ready for week 3 or week 4. When he comes back.
Oh man.
We good. We in there.
Is that a real cover thing?
Nah, man. I saw I think CJ Zuma or somebody one of them wore it in training camp, and I looked for it online. I found it, and I was trying to wear it week 1, but then he was fucking hurt. So
yeah, he was in the news for all the wrong reasons this offseason.
What's up?
He was in the news for all the wrong reasons this last year.
A little funny, right? A little funny, man.
Yeah. I don't think it was true, but it was hilarious. Yeah.
He's got that dog in him.
Yeah, that's alright. He'll be alright. He came from BYU.
Yeah, big learning curve.
Yeah, he's in New York now. He's got to enjoy the city style, the city life.
That's right. Just stay away from massage parlors and he'll be alright.
Alright?
Hey, it was a post I saw on Facebook or something. It was the most dangerous duos in NFL history, right? And it had Steve Young, Jerry Rice, had Tyreek and Patrick Mahomes, had Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, and then it had Deshaun Watson and Ben Roethlisberger shaking hands.
Shit.
I was dead when I saw it. I was like, oh my god. Somebody was like, what does that even mean? I was like, read the news. Read the room.
You don't pay attention.
What does it mean? Alright, y'all. I think that's it for us, huh?
Yes, sir.
Alright, y'all. Thanks for watching. Make sure you guys subscribe, comment, let us know what you guys think. Give us your picks. Keep up with us. Catch us on Facebook, Twitter. If you guys want to talk, Miguel, you want to talk on Twitter, go ahead.
I don't even know how to. I don't even know my handle, bro. I'll be honest.
Yeah, we'll put it on there next week. We'll put it in the description for you guys so you guys can see it. But make sure you guys subscribe with us, like us, help us break that algorithm. We'll see y'all next week. Go Niners.
Good Jets.
Yeah, Niners.